Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to the IC Topic Chats for today. Oh, it's the 15th of May. So if you are a nonprofit, your taxes are due today. I only learned about that recently because we started a nonprofit for one of our corollary programs here at Goshen Consulting. I realized, oh, well, there's a whole nother tax date I need to pay attention to. Nobody talks about the one in May, but they do talk about the ones in April. And if you're a for-profit kind of business, S corp as we are, it's due in March. So there's three tax dates. Did you know that, Tristi? Tristi's with us
No,
today. Tristi Nichols is talking to us today about stretching our expertise into new areas, which is her presentation today. And I'm excited to hear about it. But I don't know. Do you want to talk about taxes or do you want to talk about your topic today, Tristi?
I'm
What's
good.
your preference?
I'm gonna tell my story about
Okay.
stretching my expertise into new areas.
Well, I'll get out of your way. I'm very happy to have you here. Welcome to the IC Topic Chats. Take it away.
Great. Thank you, Matt. Thank you. Hi everybody. My name is Tristi Nichols, and I'm an independent evaluator, mainly in international evaluation. I'm Let me just tell you a little bit about myself. I'm formally trained in research methods from Cornell University, and I am a seasoned evaluator doing mainly mixed methods design evaluations. So, and I have very strong interpersonal skills because for international work, you have to work with government, NGO partners, different communities, refugee communities, um, um, rural communities, urban communities. And so I have a lot of experience in that area. I've managed or conducted over 65 evaluations in my lifetime. That's a lot. And over the last 10 years, I've been doing mostly work for the United Nations. And I have a lot of experience, especially leading cross functional teams, cross cultural teams in different countries like Mozambique, Papua New Guinea, Kenya, India, the Caribbean. And I work with a lot of evaluators, especially those whose English is not their first language. So that kind of gives you an idea of like what kind of evaluation space I'm in. Um, Also, I do have some passions that I wanted to share today. One is that um, it would be a dream come true to leverage my international skills like this to help the Palestinian people. And I'm trying to take steps in that direction. I just, like everybody, I kind of feel so helpless in this regard. But part of my story today relates to really wanting to assist evaluators in developing countries to take advantage of the technological advances and innovations that I have access to. So, as my value is social justice, I really wanted to help reduce the digital divide. Well, I shouldn't say digital divide now. That's like an old term. It's called digital inequality. Um, Part of the international development context for reducing the digital inequality is to teach or help developing evaluators in developing countries to actually have access to qualitative data analysis software. That's kind of like how it practically connects um, to this social justice value that I have. So part of that is that the QDAs are just so cost prohibitive, like, in vivo and all of those really fancy QDA softwares cost thousands of dollars, which really contributes to that digital divide. That really bothers me. Meanwhile, and this is kind of like where my story turns left. So just bear with me. Somebody told me that it's okay for the story to turn left a little bit. It means that you're human. Meanwhile, I also discovered that a lot of evaluators in America even lack that technological capacity to leverage, artificial intelligence and market their evaluations as AI enhanced. So, um, when I talk about AI enhanced, it's like, what is up with AI anyway? Like, why do we even need it? How is this technology supposed to even be incorporated in our practice as international evaluators? How can it help? What are the benefits? Um, how can you say, oh, my evaluation services as an independent contractor um, are enhanced by AI substantively or qualitatively? Like, what exactly does that look like, even? So it's really about, at least when I looked it up, it's about um, having something that is more robust. You can say, oh, I'm able to draw on this big basket of data, like databases, in-house reports, administrative data, health data, court records, all kinds of, data sources are available. Recording, video recording, audio recording. Like, I always thought like you could have all this stuff and just throw it at AI and AI would just assist, you know. And in fact, there is this one, as the secretary for the Washington Evaluators, we've been doing like a lot of programming for AI. And there's this one guy, I put up his website. His work claims that he could analyze through his AI machine, analyze 50 interview transcripts for UNHCR in 3 days. So, I mean, it's a lot. Or code 160 evaluation reports in 5 languages in a week. So, I mean, you know, you can have all this access to information, and it would be as independent evaluators, it's, claiming you can use all this big basket of data in a really cost efficient way, where it would normally take you weeks or months, takes you like days or um, hours. So that's kind of like how I could see us getting marketing, AI enhanced evaluation. So the solutions included, for me, looking at how I could actually do that though. So when I didn't go to AEA in Portland, but I looked at the program and AI enhanced evaluation was like all over the program. And what they actually noted in the literature is that evaluators are supposed to form these synergistic partnerships with um, data scientists and have strong cooperation and strong partnerships with data scientists. But nowhere is it actually saying, like, okay, evaluators need to stretch their expertise and actually learn the language that the machine uses to do what it does. Like there's nothing out there that's telling us evaluators that, we should try and learn the language that the machine understands. So what I did was I said, and this is kind of where it gets back to my passion of supporting evaluators in the developing world. I said, I'm going to learn Python myself. And then by learning Python, I could address two issues. One is I could learn how to use Python to do qualitative data analysis. And then from my experience, share like how to use Python to do QDA with evaluators from the developing world. And then that would be like my initial value being satisfied there. And then also, in the meantime, enhance my own evaluation practice of becoming more efficient. So I had it all organized in my head. I chose Python because AI is driven by Python. I mean, and there are so many other computer languages out there. There's C++, there's Java, there's JavaScript, Julia, Scala, Lisp. These are all like really moderately hard computer languages. So I was told that Python was actually something that is relatively easy to pick up. They lied. Um, and I chose a community college introductory class because I wanted a classroom with a real teacher and students. You can go to like boot camps and spend thousands of dollars, or Coursera, or 10-part YouTube channel. Um, those are all, options, but I wanted something that was somewhat structured. So that's what I did. And I discovered that learning a computer language is like learning a language. Um, so that's definitely something you should take into account when if you try to quote pick it up. Um, and then here's the funny part. I discovered that one, you don't really tell Python or learn to tell Python to do qualitative analysis. You can import to QDA programs through Python in their vast, vast library, and all of that is free. And then the other thing that I learned is that my well-placed ambitions of helping to reduce the digital divide have already been addressed because there are already so many qualitative data analysis softwares out there that are free. So the list goes on. I mean, there's SpaCy, there's Hugging Face, there's Dovetail, Taguette, Qualco, Boris. All of those are free. And they all have no one size fits all either. There's like so many different things that you can use, so many tools depending on the job. Like some of them only import Word and PDF files. Others only import um, audio files, audio and visual files. Some only import Word and PDF and not Excel. Others import Excel and other quantitative data um, files and, not that. So there's like so many options available all within the vast library of Python. So that was just one of my many discoveries. And I'm just going to kind of wrap it up a little bit here. I still have the dream to help reduce the digital divide or digital inequality because that's where my value is. Um, and maybe I'll create a course that kind of just shares exactly what I found and where exactly to find these things once you have, downloaded Python and are able to import different um, softwares within the library. But something tells me if you already have the background of downloading Python and you know where to find this stuff in the different libraries, then you really don't need somebody like myself to tell you like this is exactly where you find what you need. I Something tells me you would already know that if you were a evaluator from the developing world. And then another thing that I wanted to share today is that for my evaluation enhanced practice, or sorry, AI enhanced evaluation practice as an independent contractor, I think it is definitely worthwhile to understand a little bit of coding because the actual way in which AI and a lot of the innovations code uh, are kind of similar. So once you understand how something is powered by code, you're not so intimidated about going to the next level and finding that technology can actually support you in your evaluation practice. So I would definitely recommend stretching your expertise to cover some Python coding in the future. In terms of my discovery, I'm not quite sure what the next steps are, but um, I was actually hoping maybe some of you here today could assist in kind of uh, figuring out how best to address digital inequality. Thank you.
So, Tristi, thank you for that. And I love your storytelling approach. I know we talked about that ahead of time. You named a whole bunch of AI services that you think are not one size fits all, that help um, close the digital inequities or digital divide. But I think inequity is the better term. Do you think that you'll be able to share? So one of them was Taguette, and now somebody talked about it in the chat about how much they love it. Do you think you can share that list? You listed off like five real quick, and I was like, wait a second. And if I were on YouTube right now, I would have like paused and I would have like backed up. I would have hit 15 seconds, 15 seconds, and just said, "What did
For
she just say?"
sure,
And
for
then go
sure.
slow mo, so I understood what you were saying. So
I'm gonna give you the list. I can put that in the chat
put
for
it in the
sure.
chat, and then Emily, when we go to put this out to YouTube for all the YouTube folks out there, since this is still being recorded, we're going to have it down below so that they can see that as well. Um, I feel like since you are a new guest host and I have a series, I like to ask a couple of questions and I'd love to see how you think about this. Since you are an independent consultant and you are in the international space and you've had some experience, um, it would be helpful, particularly for our new folks who are thinking about or have recently started their independent consulting practice, just to kind of hear some things about your experiences. So one of those questions I like to ask is, if you were starting all over again, what would you do differently? Or another way of phrasing this is, if you could go back and tell yourself something, what would you have told yourself? This is a great way of providing advice to anybody who's brand new to the consulting world.
Absolutely, Matt. I mean, like my professional home is the independent TIG. I've been part of the independent TIG for a long time. And I would definitely say to my younger self or to those who are just starting out that go ahead and take the jump. It's not as hard as you think it is. When I was starting out, like I was like so many other evaluators when I had finished my graduate work at Cornell, I was also really focused on getting a job within an institution. Like independent evaluation work was not on my radar screen at all. And now, 20 years into it, I feel like it has actually been the best way to do the kind of evaluation work that we all aspire to do, like especially if we all aspire to be hands-on, to have like be on the front end of, conceptualizing and designing evaluations and methodologies that are like new or different, or if you wanted to experiment with some things, it is definitely the best way to go if that's the case, because other opportunities that um, have you in the institutional space, may not necessarily have that much of a tolerance for something experimental, in terms of methodology or evaluation design, and or bringing in digital innovations to enhance the work or any of that. Or you would, I mean, worst case scenario, definitely wouldn't be at the front line of creating um, a, a specific design that is intended for a specific community, or you would probably be in a more managerial position, which is not direct. And being directly connected is what I enjoy for sure. So,
What is it
I,
that you enjoy about being directly connected? Why do you say that?
oh, because like I said in the beginning of my um speech, is like, with my interpersonal skills, I enjoy like being able to negotiate directly with government entities, or UN partners, or communities, or NGO partners. You're like able to just connect directly and understand the emotion and empathy, or even their, struggles and challenges too. So that's really what makes me tick. But, for others, perhaps it's they don't care too much about that. So, but that's what I care about. So definitely, um,
It's not as hard as you think. That's one of the.
not as hard as you think, and definitely way more fulfilling than you could have imagined. So, for sure. And as independent too, people kind of think, oh, it's so risky. Uh, there are a lot of entities out there that commission evaluators directly. So it's not as hard as you think. When I went to school, I mean, I understood the assignment though, that my work would be, I used to joke and say my work was a transaction cost, like it was like, okay, at the end of the project, here's the evaluator. Now, of course, things have changed a lot. Like evaluators are very much integrated into the whole process. So, but back when I was studying, like that was kind of like the assignment. But even so, it's still worthwhile. So,
Well, I think it's interesting. I getting to know you, but I didn't. I would never have guessed that you've been just from looking at your appearance that you've been doing this for 20 years. So that's a credit to your health and wellness. I
I
didn't know
got
that.
good
I
genes,
thought
honey. I
maybe
got good genes.
you got good genes. I love it. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap up here the recording, but before I go, the people who are on the line who are listening still, I wanted to share that next week I'm going to have a session. I'll be doing it on. It's a new one on the delicate art of budget proposals. Whenever we do the finance piece, the core topic, I feel like we're always missing out on the budget proposal piece. And I think that's some people join for that reason alone. And so I don't know that we've ever addressed it exactly. So I don't know what I'm going to say. I'll work it out between now and then. But I'm going to be talking about budget proposals. And then in 2 weeks, we will be celebrating 5 years plus 1 day.
Oh, wow.
Literally 5 years ago, in the middle of the pandemic, where we're all at our stay-at-home, we're locked into our homes, and we needed some way of connecting. We started this IC topic chats, and so that's going to be exciting because it'll be with Sheila Robinson, and her session will be called "Expertise to Impact: Designing Workshops and Courses That Make a Difference." And so that's going to be a wonderful way, because if anybody knows Sheila Robinson, she's an experienced speaker. She's very well known within AEA. She ran the AEA 365 sessions for a long time, and it'll just be a pleasure to have her. So with that, I'm going to close down as soon as I can find all the buttons here, because they disappear on me. I don't even know where they are. But I will stop the recording, and we'll get into the open conversation about your session. Thanks a lot, Tristi, and everybody who's live, stick around, but everybody who's out on YouTube, see you later.